As the famous theologian Jerry Seinfeld said, 70% of the world's population is actually more afraid of public speaking than they are of death. And this is quite interesting because that literally means that you would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. This, among other reasons, is why I decided to do my dissertation on course design's influence on public speaking anxiety. The problem primarily being that anxiety often leads to a negative influence on student engagement and success. Students tend to have a reduction in motivation, a reduction in attendance, among other things. So the goal is then to provide realistic and practical course designs that will potentially allow students to reach what they can attain, to reach their full potential and get rid of those negative influences. This research question is the basis of that. So according to the Personal Report for Public Speaking Anxiety, how do the instructor-directed, independent, and collaborative course designs influence public speaking anxiety, if at all? The specifics that we're going to look at here start with the literature. And the anxiety that is discussed in literature often talks about how anxiety on the whole, whatever form it might be, negatively influences student success. In addition to that, there's a lot of discussion about the various tools instructors can have in order to help students to be successful. This is barring the idea of connecting anxiety or emotions at all into the idea of course design. So these are two distinct separate components that are discussed very frequently in literature. Anxiety is more recent. Various tools, including course design, has been around for ages. So the gap is that there's no connection there. There's no connection between course design specifically and its influence on public speaking anxiety. So that's what this specific, and not just public speaking anxiety, but any anxiety, but that's what this specific goal is going to be, is to look at its influence on public speaking anxiety. The course designs that will be assessed are instructor-directed, so heavy lecture-based, individualized, which would be often online or hybrid formats where you do a lot of individual learning, and then collaborative, which is much more group dynamic related, less of a instructor focus and more of a group focus. The theories that are going to be addressed in the creation of each of these three courses are experiential learning theory and uncertainty reduction theory. Combining these two in order to create courses that have a similar background in theoretical approaches, but are different in their display of the information. So through the content, providing of the content, the activities, the choice of assignments, that sort of thing. So it'll be a little bit different, but each will follow these two theories combined. This is going to be a mixed method study in order to kind of add depth to what we find out, since it's such a broad topic and can go in so many different ways. We're really exploring information here. The participants will be community college students in 3 courses, each being in a specific course design. And these students right here are a few of my past students that have commandeered my phone and done a few selfies in the elevator. But they will be new students beginning in the fall 2018 semester. And then we will also have 2 instruments. One will be for the quantitative, which is the Personal Report of Public Speaking Anxiety. That has been established since 1970 and is used very frequently throughout much research on public speaking anxiety. The qualitative resource will be open-ended questions. These will be created primarily through a combination of past research on emotions as well as the instructor's own experiences. So the Personal Report of Public Speaking Anxiety will be a semester-long pre-post test, so at the beginning and the end of the semester, whereas the open-ended questions will be after every speech that a student gives. So they will do regular reflections on these. Once we have all that information, I'll be able to combine that in analyses. So they will be an analysis of just the quantitative for the first course design and just the qualitative. And then we will look at the 2 together and what they say. And each of the course designs will follow that pattern. And then finally, the entirety of the data will be assessed. So hopefully this will give us a good answer as to how to most effectively design our courses, or even just understanding what components of a course can lead to a reduction of anxiety in a course such as public speaking, where most people would, as I said, rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. Thank you.